Here's a preview. Be warned, it's intense.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the things you might not have known about the making of director Tim Burton's long-awaited legacy sequel, Beetlejuice Beetlejuice. A word of warning, spoilers are to follow.
The juice is loose.
Number 10. How MacArthur Park ended up in the movie.
Otho, are you doing
Work
this?
all night and a drink of rum. Daylight come and we want go home.
There was clearly a lot of pressure on Burton and Company to incorporate another memorable musical moment into Beetlejuice Beetlejuice, a la the first film's instant classic Deo sequence. Breaking down the film's script for Entertainment Weekly, co-writer Alfred Goff explained that, quote, "We all wanted a musical number. We just didn't know what it was. It all felt like the movie was wrapping up too neatly." Burton, according to Goff, has a jukebox in his home, which contained the original MacArthur Park recording as performed by Richard Harris, solidifying his choice.
MacArthur Park is melting in the dark, all the sweet green icing flowing down.
The unique thing about this scene? Beetlejuice leads it, as opposed to Deo, in which the character doesn't appear at all. Number 9. Winona Ryder and Jenna Ortega became besties.
You ever been with a normie?
I've never found one that could handle me.
Ryder is clearly building a reputation for herself as a mentor to a new generation of silver screen talent. Speaking to Screen Rant, Ryder gushed about working with Wednesday and Scream star Jenna Ortega, saying that, quote, "It did feel a lot like I was talking to a younger version of myself, but she's just like 1,000 times cooler, because we both have the same almost religious reverence for film. She is a cinephile, and we just can talk movies for years." This must have been a breath of fresh air for Ryder, who had previously bemoaned her young co-star's lack of interest in classic cinema as part of a 2024 Los Angeles Times profile. Number 8. Tim Burton had some help from a friend.
Don't embarrass yourself, Max. I know all about you. What you hide, I discover. What you put in your toilet, I place on my mantle.
Alfred Goff, as part of that aforementioned Entertainment Weekly breakdown, explained how Burton's friend and frequent collaborator Danny DeVito ended up making a small but memorable cameo in Beetlejuice Beetlejuice. Goff explained that he hadn't written what would become DeVito's role with any particular actor in mind. The screenwriter shared that, quote, "Tim called Danny and Danny said yes in a minute and came and did it, which was great.
I wasn't born in the sewer, you know. I come from, like you. And like you, I want some respect."
In another fun bit of trivia, Beetlejuice Beetlejuice reunites DeVito, Burton, and Keaton, who worked together on Batman Returns and Burton's live-action Dumbo remake, the latter alongside Colin Farrell. Not that DeVito's presence ever needs to be explained away. Isn't it technically a crime to not love him?
Let's have our best season yet. Now, where's my horses?
Funny story about that.
Well, funny how?
He sold them.
Number 7. Multiple attempts to film a sequel failed.
I say we open it.
Maybe we should knock first.
The answer as to why Beetlejuice fans had to wait so long for a sequel would be good old-fashioned Hollywood bureaucracy. Although a number of wild ideas were floated, more on that in a moment, none of them came to fruition, and the project was killed, then revived, then killed again. Rinse and repeat. For a moment in 2011, it looked like the Beetlejuice sequel was finally going to happen, with Warner Brothers hiring frequent Burton collaborator Seth Grahame-Smith to write and produce. Grahame-Smith told Entertainment Weekly in 2015 that filming would begin at the end of that year, with Winona Ryder reprising her role. Warner Brothers announced in 2019, however, that this iteration had met a familiar fate.
Of course they're dead, they're ghosts.
Number 6. What do Hawaii, Romeo and Juliet, and Beetlejuice have in common?
Babs.
As it turns out, quite a lot. After the original Beetlejuice was a box office hit, the Geffen Film Company immediately went to work on crafting a sequel. They commissioned 2 scripts in 1990. One was called Beetlejuice in Love and was written by Warren Scarron, who had worked on the first film script. This pitch involved Beetlejuice re-entering the world of the living, trying to steal Julia away from the deceased Leo.
Boy, do you know how to pick 'em. Let me ask you something. Is this relationship really solid? Do I have a shot at her at all?
Excuse me.
Sure. Have I overstepped my bounds? Just tell me. Come on.
The other pitch? Beetlejuice Goes Hawaiian, which would have seen Charles Deetz building a resort on an ancient Hawaiian burial ground. Beetlejuice would have saved the day by winning a surfing competition. Sounds like we should be thankful we got Beetlejuice Beetlejuice instead.
He was gone forever until you found this in the attic.
Ew. Who's Beetlejuice?
Don't ever say that name.
Beetlejuice.
Number 5. Winona Ryder's Stranger Things contract had a Beetlejuice clause.
I am alone.
Ryder, born Winona Laura Horowitz, had an extremely busy few years after Beetlejuice turned her into an overnight superstar. Once a prototypical media darling, America's goth sweetheart faced intense backlash and public scrutiny after having been arrested for shoplifting in 2001. Cut to June 2015, and Ryder is cast in what she doesn't yet know is her major comeback role, that of Joyce Byers in Netflix's Stranger Things.
I will see you tonight.
Yeah, see you later.
Where's Will?
Oh, I didn't get him up yet. He's probably still sleeping.
Jonathan, you have to make sure he's up.
Mom, I'm making breakfast.
I told you this 1,000 times.
As neither Ryder, her simultaneously cast co-star David Harbour, or the show-running Duffer Brothers were aware of the show's massive potential for crossover success, she insisted on only a single demand in her contract. That would be the ability to unconditionally take time off if a Beetlejuice sequel ever entered production.
Well, I read through that handbook for the recently deceased. It says, live people ignore the strange and unusual.
Number 4. Why Charles Deetz was written off.
Can't believe Grandpa's dead.
Death is hard.
Yeah, sometimes I think life is harder.
Jeffrey Jones, the actor behind Charles Deetz, was at one point ubiquitous in Hollywood, appearing in such 80s hits as Amadeus, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and of course Beetlejuice, as Lydia Deetz's uptight, high-strung father Charles.
If you don't let me gut out this house and make it my own, I will go insane and I will take you with me!
Yeah, well, you know, maybe the house could use a little remodeling, but why don't you just leave this room alone, okay?
While almost every starring cast member from the original Beetlejuice film was contracted to return for its sequel, Jones was conspicuously absent. While the character's death is crucial to the plot of Beetlejuice Beetlejuice, there's a significant elephant in the room that likely contributed to Jones's dismissal. That would be the fact that in 2003, the actor was required to register as a sex offender in California for possession of illicit materials involving children. Jones pled no contest to a solicitation charge. Number 3. Burton felt that he couldn't make Beetlejuice Beetlejuice until now.
Do you take this woman to be your wedded wife?
Jeez, I don't know. I mean, it's kind of a big decision, isn't it? I mean, I always said if I ever did it, I was going to do it once, and that was it.
Reading about Burton's motivation for making a sequel to one of his most legendary films really puts the events of Beetlejuice Beetlejuice into context. Upon finally signing on to make the film in 2022, the oddball director, speaking to British newspaper The Independent, claimed that he, quote, tried to strip everything and go back to the basics of working with good people and actors and puppets.
She's a little bit nervous. Maybe I should answer for her, okay?
I'm Lydia Deetz and I'm of sound mind. The man next to me is the one I want. You ask me, I'm answering. Yes, I love that man of mine.
Burton elaborated in an interview with Collider, describing the film as highly, quote, personal, and that, quote, that became the emotional hook. The 3 generations of mother, daughter, granddaughter, life, death. Just basic normal things that we all experience, especially if you're lucky enough to get older. You feel those things. Number 2, why the Maitlands don't appear.
Perfect start to our vacation.
Oh, you'll feel better when you're dry, honey.
Burton brought on his Wednesday collaborators Alfred Goff and Miles Miller to write the screenplay for Beetlejuice Beetlejuice, working from a story conceived of by them and Seth Grahame-Smith. Early on, the trio discussed ways to potentially bring back Adam and Barbara Maitland, as played by Alec Baldwin and Gina Davis in the first Beetlejuice film, for at the very least a cameo appearance.
You know what's really beautiful about this? You 2 kids picked me. You didn't have to, but you picked me. It makes me want to kiss you guys. Come on, come on. Give me one. Come on, you're hard, huh? All right, let's get down to business.
However, the filmmakers decided against it, citing a number of reasons. Among them, in a rather refreshing creative choice, was the inadequacy of contemporary de-aging technology, as ghosts wouldn't get older. In addition, Burton felt that the Maitland story was already complete, and that reviving them would serve no narrative purpose beyond mere fan service.
I'm not staying here another minute.
Don't pay any attention to it.
Adam, we have to get out of here.
I agree, but I'm fixing something to eat.
Home!
Barbara, how did you do that?
Hope you like Italian.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Michael Keaton himself insisted on Beetlejuice's limited screen time.
That is why I won't do 2 shows a night anymore, babe. I won't do. Well, what do we got here tonight, kids?
For the Oscar nominee who earned top billing as the titular character in Beetlejuice Beetlejuice, this might seem like a kind of counterintuitive decision. In a GQ profile published ahead of the sequel's premiere at the Venice Film Festival, Keaton explained why he made the demand one of the conditions of his return.
You want to get rid of them pesky living critters once and for all? Well, come on down and see me, folks, because I'm the after leading bio-exorcist. Yes, sir. Come on down here, and I want to tell you, I'll do anything.
The actor and occasional Batman declared that too much Beetlejuice would, quote, kill it, further elaborating by saying, quote, I think the Beetlejuice character doesn't drive the story as much as he did in the first one. He's more part of the storyline in this one as opposed to the first one, which is a case of this thing comes in and drives the movie a little bit.
What are your qualifications?
Well, I attended Juilliard. I'm a graduate of the Harvard Business School. I travel quite extensively. I lived through the Black Plague, and I had a pretty good time during that. I've seen The Exorcist about 167 times, and it keeps getting funnier every single time I see it.
What was your favorite Beetlejuice moment? Be sure to let us know in the comments.
Feel free to express yourselves. Don't be afraid.
You're a figment of my imagination.
Really?
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.